We love seeing our favorite Korean actors in thrilling dramas, but some of their scariest moments happened off-screen. Today, we're diving into the stories of Korean actors who came face-to-face with death. Let's start with the beloved Park Shin-yay. It was 2011, and Park was at the peak of her career, just 21 years old and already a household name. She was filming the drama Heartstrings when a terrifying incident almost changed everything. On the night of July 18th, around 11:30 p.m. Korea Standard Time, Park was in a van with her manager, driving through yongi-do, Songnam. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the van crashed right into a guardrail. The impact was so powerful that the entire front of the van was crushed, and get this, all 4 tires flew off the vehicle. Imagine the sheer force of that impact. In the van were 5 people, including Park, who were all rushed to the hospital. Fans held their breath, wondering if she'd suffered any serious injuries. Thankfully, Park was incredibly lucky. Although the accident looked severe, her agency confirmed she had no major injuries, and she was able to return to filming after a short time in the hospital. But imagine if things had turned out differently. We wouldn't have Park Shin-yay in unforgettable dramas like The Heirs, Pinocchio, The Doctors. Can you even imagine the K-drama world without her? She's one of the queens of Dramaland, and her roles are iconic. And if you're a true fan, you're in luck. Look out for her newest 2024 drama, The Judge from Hell. Park Shin-yay continues to reign supreme. Next up, we have a story of friendship and survival. Let's talk about Il Woo and Lee Minho, 2 actors who, believe it or not, share a terrifying history. Picture this: Il Woo and Lee Minho, best friends since high school, were headed on a road trip with another friend. They were off to the beautiful Gangwon province, just taking a short vacation together, when the unthinkable happened. A car coming from the opposite lane, involved in a hit-and-run, suddenly veered into their lane. It was like a nightmare. There was nowhere to go, no way to avoid it. They were hit head-on. Il Woo, who was sitting in the front passenger seat, was hit hard. He suffered a concussion, a cerebral hemorrhage, and even partial memory loss. His wrist was shattered, his left pelvis bone cracked. He spent 4 months in the hospital, battling to heal from these devastating injuries. And Lee Minho? Sitting in the back seat, he faced injuries that were even worse. He had a severe broken thigh bone, a broken ankle, and a torn knee cartilage. It was serious. He spent an unbelievable 7 months in the hospital recovering. Both friends were young, on the rise, and facing months of pain, rehabilitation, and the possibility of never acting again. But they pulled through and are just fine. Can you imagine what we'd have missed? Il Woo giving us second lead syndrome, and to give us something to drool on when watching Cinderella and the 4 Knights on our screens. These 2 actors have overcome impossible odds, and their careers are a testament to their resilience. And speaking of resilience, let's take a quick moment to make sure you're subscribed. Come on, don't miss out on more incredible stories from your favorite K-drama stars. Alright, back to it. Next, let's talk about Jung Hae-in, who experienced a close call that's chilling just to think about. Do you know that we would not have witnessed the insane chemistry between Jung Hae-in and Young Salman in Love Next Door if he died in the car accident he experienced? He was in the military when it happened on a rainy night, driving back to Seoul from Daejon. Suddenly, his car just stopped, right in the middle of the highway. His steering wheel locked up, he couldn't control the car, couldn't steer to the side. Behind him, large trucks speeding toward him fast. He tried everything, but his car was stuck, right in the middle of the road. In that moment, he thought he'd die. "I thought I was going to die right then and there," he said. Eventually, he managed to start the car, moving it just barely to the side. When he told his parents later, they broke down in tears. Jung Hae-in shared that it made him think of his late grandfather, and he felt his grandfather's spirit with him in that moment. It's moments like this that make us realize just how fragile life is. Without him, we'd have missed that incredible chemistry in Something in the Rain, that captivating performance in Snowdrop. Thankfully, he survived, and we get to continue seeing him shine. Now, let's go back to Lee Minho. Yes, Lee Minho again. Believe it or not, he's survived not just 1 but 2 life-threatening car accidents. In 2011, while filming City Hunter, Lee Minho was involved in a high-speed car crash right on set. The car he was driving was completely wrecked, but miraculously, He escaped with only minor injuries. He later said, "I feel fine now, except that my back still hurts." He tried to joke it off, but fans were beyond worried. This actor is practically invincible. With 2 near-death experiences, he's had fans holding their breath for his safety time and again. But thank goodness he made it through both accidents. Can you imagine K-drama without Lee Min-ho's charm in the airs, or his recent powerful performance in Pachinko? Another actor who narrowly escaped a tragic fate is Yoo Sung-ho. In 2011, he was on his way to film Warrior Baek Dong-soo when disaster struck. Heavy rain caused his car to skid on the slick roads, sending his vehicle spinning out of control. The car was completely totaled. Yoo Sung-ho suffered a fracture near his skull, around his eye area. His agency immediately went to the hospital, fearing the worst. Luckily, he was able to recover and went on to show his acting talents in The Emperor, Owner of the Mask, Moonshine, and I Am Not a Robot. Imagine missing out on his brilliant career. It just doesn't bear thinking about. Alright, let's start with none other than Kuay Son, the actress who captured all our hearts in Boys Over Flowers. We know her as the brave and headstrong Jang-di, standing up to bullies and finding love in the iconic K-drama. But did you know that she faced a life-threatening accident while filming the show? It's an incident that could have changed everything. It was the day of the prestigious 45th Baeksang Arts Awards. The glitter, the glamour, everyone was excited, especially the cast of Boys Over Flowers, who were making waves across Asia. But for Kuay Son, that night took a dangerous twist. On her way to the event, her car collided with a dump truck. Yes, a dump truck. The impact was so intense that Kuay Son was thrown forward, slamming into the seat in front of her. The result? A severe cut on her mouth that required stitches. Now, if you're a diehard fan of the show, you might even remember a mysterious gap in the show's schedule, a whole week without a new episode. That's because filming had to be delayed so she could recover. And honestly, given the extent of her injuries, we're just thankful it wasn't something even more serious. But here's where the story takes a heartwarming twist. The very night of the accident, her co-star and on-screen love interest, Lee Minho, was driving by and saw the aftermath. He didn't hesitate. Lee Minho rushed her to the hospital himself. I mean, can we just pause for a moment and appreciate this? The hero of Boys Over Flowers turned out to be a real-life hero too. Talk about life imitating art. Fans still remember this moment as one of those rare, genuine acts of care that only deepen our admiration for these stars. Just think about it. What if Kuay Son hadn't been able to continue in the role after that accident? Losing her as Jang-di would have completely changed the feel of the show. That's something no one could ever replace. So every time you rewatch Boys Over Flowers, take a moment to appreciate how lucky we were to have her complete the journey with us. Luckily, Kuay Son recovered fully and went on to shine not only in Boys Over Flowers but in many other projects afterward. These days, she's busy with her studies. Did you know she's pursuing a PhD? She's just as resilient in real life as her character was on screen. And just when you thought the drama was only on screen, wait until you hear about the real-life fights among Korean actors. Trust me, you won't want to miss those jaw-dropping stories. Check out my other video where I dive into 3 times K-drama couples fought each other in real life. It's a roller coaster you definitely want to ride. Subscribe.